Second Cup, brought to you by the Nickel Plate. Sit, sip, savor, and shop.
Good morning, everyone. It's 8 o'clock on the start of a Thursday.
We're talking about vacations, Ed and I, personally.
Which
unrelated to Second Cup today.
Right. I knew this conversation was going to bleed into the on-air.
This kid's just ready to get out of here for a little bit.
I'm tired.
I'm tired too.
I got to tell you, for those of you who don't know what goes on behind the scenes here, yesterday we had a pretty large event here. And it was really great.
A very nice event.
Really awesome to meet some people who have a lot to do with our station. Outside of the station, I guess, so to speak. A lot of our clients, a lot of our advertisers, a lot of community partners.
People that we partner with in the community. Yeah,
and it was really wonderful to get everyone together. But it was a long day.
And it's not a long day for, I'm sure it's a busy day for a lot of people, but it just like extends your morning when you work.
Overnight.
So we were both like little zombies this morning.
Yeah, we walked in here and both of us were like, holy cow, that was a day.
Well, and I got my hair done. You'll notice there's no roots. What roots, you ask? Exactly. But so then afterwards I was like, went and got my hair done, and like it was just a lot for one day.
Because you try and pack everything in, you don't want to lose any time. But we were here until about 12:30 or so yesterday, which is different than what we're normally doing.
Like, look here, we're doing a little yawn right now.
And I said,
but wait,
this morning.
We better get into some of our. We got good stuff today.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
okay, this is what I really wanted to talk about.
Which one do you want to talk about?
The baby boomer, Gen X, and millennial stuff.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because I feel like a lot of you are in this boat, just knowing based on the conversations that we've had, that making ends meet is really difficult these days with everything becoming more expensive. But then you factor that into a fixed income. Like so many of you have retired already.
Or you're looking toward retirement.
Right.
Like, what do I need to do if I want to retire in the next X amount of years?
So
some of us are looking ahead already. Like, we're even looking ahead toward that.
Of
but
course
you need to be thinking about this stuff.
Because we need something to look forward to. We've become of a certain age. Anyway, there's this new study out there that says baby boomers and Gen Xers. So we're talking like our parents and the generation before us.
Yeah.
Are more likely to see shortfalls in retirement than millennials, us, or Gen Z.
No, it's an interesting reason, though.
So this is all because of pensions basically fading away, where your employer would put all of that retirement money into a pension for you, to a shift now in the employee putting all of their money into a retirement.
So Ed and I were talking about this. I said, listen, I absolutely see this. Like, look at all the pensions that we saw go away in the past, 30 years.
Right.
And if you had been working those, maybe 40 years, if you had been working, let's say you worked half your time, you didn't really put a lot of money away because you're like, well, I've got my pension. I'm going to fall back on that for retirement. But then all of a sudden you don't have that. Okay, so now you didn't put away. Now you don't get your pension. So, and now you're trying to put away, but you've got all these expenses.
You've already lived half your life.
And let's say by that point, maybe you've got a couple kids, one's going to college, that's hard.
What you're relying on no longer exists. So researchers say the move left so many baby boomers and Gen Xers with less time to build their savings. And
Totally.
I'm sure a lot of people were doing both, putting money in a 401k, but also putting money, or, their employer was putting money in a pension.
But realistically, if you knew you had a pension coming at the end of all this, let's say you work for New York State and you're like, I know what my pension is based on. I know whatever. And we know the state pension still exists, right? But let's say your company was very similar to that. It's based on my top 3 earning years, or it's based on, whatever. And you knew that. Would you have put extra money away? Maybe into a Roth, maybe into a 401k,
right? But
probably not as much as you put aside, people like us, knowing that we don't have that.
So Howard, we knew you would have something to say about this.
I said Howard's going to comment on this.
So Howard says, be careful and save. I lost my company-funded retirement in my previous job after 23 years. They sold the company and bought out my pension, equal to about 1 year of collecting. I am the exact example you are talking about. My mom, the same thing. She says 27 years and my pension went bye-bye. She lost her entire pension.
What happened again?
So the guy was kind of a D-bag, and he basically screwed the company.
Okay.
And was like, okay, we don't have enough money here. And
they just got rid of the pension.
Correct.
So that's horrible.
Right.
And that's exactly what we're talking. And that's exactly, frankly, what this is talking about.
Michaela says, my grandparents that are still alive are baby boomers and my parents are Gen X. Exactly. So, they are the ones who are having trouble right now, according to the survey. Melly says, yep, my employer hasn't put a dime in mine this year. Now, do you have a pension, Melly, or are you talking about your 401k? Because a lot of the, the benefits of having a job nowadays is that there is employer matched or there's some sort of employer contribution to a 401k because they're not contributing to a pension.
Right, exactly. Like they'll match up to a certain percentage. So I'll take my moment. I'll stand on my soapbox like I do with all the young kids. Don't I tell all of them as soon as they come here? I was just yelling at Zach the other day. I wasn't yelling. And also Zach is already very well aware of what he had to do. But a couple people weren't into our 401k. And I'm like, you guys.
You're losing money.
You're losing money. Like we've got to get you into at least the match.
Well,
so I've walked a lot of people through it.
It's so interesting because if even 3%, if your employer is sending in 3%, and then you send in, as a match, you put in 3%.
Like just get the match at least.
Exactly.
Don't lose the free money.
6%. I mean, that's a pretty good contribution when you're first starting out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
That's kind of like what ours is. Remember, it's like I think it's 100 of the first 3 and then 50 of the next, something like that. Yeah. But a lot of companies do stuff like this. So you want to try to get as much as you can to up to that percentage.
I don't know that I always was contributing to my 401k.
I do know that you weren't always, because I remember us having this conversation. It was early on when you first started.
Well, no, but like even when I was working in Virginia, I was making such little money that I had none to really even survive.
So like we've all been there, right? Like, and when I first started, I think I was just putting in the match.
Right.
And it wasn't a lot of money.
No, right.
Because we weren't making a lot of money when we first started. You know what I mean? It just is what it is.
Your mom says, look at what happened at General Motors and Delphi. They lost it all. Howard kind of following up. Luckily, my last job, or for 18 years, I made more money and stocked away as much as I could in a 401k. It changed his plans. I did retire, but now work part-time. And that's the whole thing, right? Like you're having to find a job.
Yeah. Lori, preaching. Getting a state job is a plus.
Well, and so like Western New York's largest employer is the government.
I like your dad's advice here.
Always live below your means and save as much as possible.
Work, save, invest.
I feel like I'm talking to my husband right now.
No, you're talking to your dad, actually.
Right, thank you.
They say that sometimes you marry people who are like your parents.
Yeah, I sure did.
Turns out as though you may have. Huh?
My mom, on the other hand, explaining what exactly happened. He underfunded the pension, and the government agency took it over. I didn't lose it, but it's a small percentage of what I should have gotten. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it's so frustrating.
Howard says young folks just put at least $20.
Yeah, just do it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Told my son the same thing just a few weeks ago.
I know.
Barbara says, my advice to new kids when I was working, start with matching 401k and increase by at least 1% each year, which is what we do.
That is the part that I remember helping you with, because he was like, I didn't know how to increase it. I'm like, let's just bump it up every January. I go, you'll never miss it. Did you miss it?
No. And to be honest with you, it was the best thing that I've done because it just goes. I mean, sometimes you've got a good idea.
Every now and then I really stumble across one.
Here's what Michael says. And this
was my dad's idea. Like he was the one who told me to do it. You know what I mean? But that also, isn't it so funny, because you get these like concepts of this stuff from your parents.
My dad used to say, make money, save money, invest money.
He literally just said, was it 40 seconds ago? Yeah. Because he just said that.
He did say it, but not in the way he normally does, which is what I'm surprised of. Work, save, invest. Make money, save money, invest money. Yeah. It's the three-legged stool. I like when my stool only has one leg and it's spend money, but I get it that we need to.
Oh my God. I know you're riding around on a unicycle over there. So to spend money. I'm like, no. Although, like we were saying, we were talking about a vacation, like at the very beginning of this, and like, you do have to like have a little fun too. Like it is a balance, and it's hard for me to say that.
Right.
Fun vacuum.
You do go out on vacation though, all out on vacation. Like
I do?
Yeah, there are certain vacations where you've definitely...
Some of them, yeah. I hesitate to do them all the time. Like we've gone to Mexico and we did an all-inclusive and stuff. And like, that to me is a pretty big vacation. Yeah. Then other vacations...
You'll go to Florida,
my
stay
parents
with
will
your
be in Florida and I'll be like, hey, can I come down? Can I crash?
They love having you.
Don't you, Mom?
She's a pleasure.
Would you like to have Ed? He's looking for a little getaway. I'll tell you the best thing about going on vacation and staying like while your parents are down there. My mom cooks all the time. It's fantastic.
She makes phenomenal bean soup. Envy. Great bean soup.
I've been eating a lot of bean soup lately.
Kathy says some retired people are working part-time now because they're not getting enough retirement money. I'll get a pension too, hopefully. She says, fingers crossed.
Ooh, Where's Lauren going?
Where's her comment?
It says, Brian and I are doing a big vacation this year. They saved a lot for it.
I have no idea. Where are you going, Lauren?
Lauren, tell me everything. I want to know.
Are you talking about going to Italy?
That's a big vacation.
We're going on a big family vacation next summer.
Fun.
To Italy for a wedding. And
For the cousin, right?
yes, for little Maria. Should I have said that? I don't even know. You know me. Don't tell me anything.
Pretend you guys didn't hear that.
Barbara's going on a cruise in November. Haven't been on a cruise in 24 years.
Like every now and then, you do like Brittany, right? You can't take it with you. Like, so that is something to keep in mind.
And that's what I tell my parents all the time.
Okay, but
I want them to spend their money. I literally don't want a dime.
Fair. Yes.
What
I
is
agree.
a vacation, Lori says.
What'd she say?
She says, what is a vacation?
I know. But I will also say, for as much as we talk about, oh, it's so nice to go on a vacation and treat yourself, it is also nice to have a vacation where you stay at home.
No kidding. Well, that's what I'm doing next week.
Oh, God, that's a lovely vacation.
Russell's like, well, you could clean the boat. You could clean this. You could clean that. I'm like, you know what I'm doing? I'm sitting inside or sitting outside on a lawn chair, reading a book and sleeping like a normal person.
Maybe I'll come over after work sometime. You got a comfy place to take a little nap outside?
Of course I do. I just think it's so interesting that, when it comes to the generational differences, this is probably one of the biggest.
Yeah.
And then how about this one?
And it's because we started right away and a lot of people didn't start right away because they thought they'd have these things to rely on. And
right.
The whole thing about it just isn't fair.
You could also just win the lottery.
I get it that life isn't fair, but it's frustrating to me. Yeah, you could win the lottery. Let me just remind you guys, Mega Millions is up to $500 million. So if you want to get in on it, it's tomorrow night.
The drawing's tomorrow night.
Yeah. So you have like today and tomorrow to pick up your tickets. Now listen, don't expect to win because I'm already going to. Every time I get one of these stupid tickets, I'm so convinced this is going to be the time that I win. It never is.
You've got to just manifest.
I do it every time though.
You just need to put it out there.
Just put it out there.
So it's a lot of money. You could be like, it's like almost $500 million that's available for grabs right now.
Imagine if you won $500 million. Like, this is one of my favorite things to think about. Oh my God, I'd be so excited.
I know. And so we were talking about buying tickets just to split between the three of us. And then I said, well, what if we win? And Aaron goes,
Mankowski goes,
no more show.
There's no morning show the next day. Although realistically, there wouldn't be because it'd be a Saturday. So they'd have a couple days to figure that out.
My dad bought a ticket last night. My mom says,
Mom, you and Dad go get some tickets, okay? And I'll get some tickets too. And then we'll all go splitsies on them.
Lynn says, you will win, Katie.
Thanks, guys.
Yes. Then maybe we could do like a cuppy cruise. We'd be able to pay for it too.
That'd be fun. Like if we got one, yeah.
That would be awesome.
That would be cool.
Does it feel like fall out there? Yes. It's like 50-something degrees right now.
Who said that?
I'm saying.
You're saying that?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's going to heat up today. Going to the mid-70s today.
Look at this forecast. It is in the mid-70s today, upper 70s tomorrow, 80s and sunny over the weekend.
So we had a little bit of a cooler week, but then boom, look at next week too.
Okay, but now Starbucks is releasing its Pumpkin Spice Latte.
PSLs.
The earliest they ever have in the 2 decades it's been around. So what do you think? Is this too early or is this just in time?
Really sweet. Look at Shirley, how sweet she is. That money could help so many people. And we're like, yeah, that money could help so many of us go on a cruise. No, yes. Shirley, you're right. We would do some good. We would do some good with our winnings.
Lori, good morning to you. Says it's still fall. You can tell it starts getting damp early in the evening. It's not fall yet, Lori.
Can we talk about the tree?
Outside the station?
Yes, I know. I love that tree. It's the top of it is all red.
It's crazy.
It's just the top of it. I'll take a picture of it.
But how early it is that the leaves are starting to change. Barbara's already closing her pool this weekend because the water has cooled off. Barbara, no.
Barbara.
Don't do that.
No.
You got to wait until at least Labor Day.
Yeah.
That's so early.
Get on the schedule.
Yeah, right.
If I had a pool, I'd keep it open. And this is no joke. I would probably try to keep it open until October because you get these warm September days. And Barbara, I don't know if you have little kids or not, but like they come home from school, I'd be like, go jump in the pool.
Right. Well, and just to cool off, burn off some energy.
Exactly. Burn off that energy. Come back inside.
Labor Day is next weekend. Ed Lori says, ooh, listen to what Jeff says. Apples are a week to 10 days early. So what do you, like, is this the season right now?
Yeah, so Jeff Baker Farms posted, I want to say last week, they had a couple different kinds that were already ready to go. Let me see here. I actually sent it. We went with our friends last year. We took
Yeah.
their baby,
Mhm.
and I sent the post over there. The apples are ahead of schedule. They're opening Saturday, August 24th.
Wow.
They'll have ginger golds.
This Saturday. That means this Saturday.
Ginger golds, Paula Reds, and Sansa. Sansa's that's a fancy name.
Jeff.
That's for picking, Ed. Then Honeycrisp in the market.
I love Honeycrisp apples. Those are our favorite.
Well, you can't pick them.
Okay, for the you picks, Jeff, can you give us an idea of what each flavor is? Or is there like a crisp and sweet?
Yeah, tell us. It's ginger golds, Paula Reds, and the Sansas. So tell us a little bit about those apples.
A lot of people saying that they hate pumpkin spice. Danielle says the nights get cold and pool gets too cold now. You guys, it's going to be in the 80s next week. Stop with the too cold.
I just know that if I had a pool, I'd want to utilize it as long as I possibly could.
Right.
Because it's so hard in Western New York. And I do get it, though,
My mom wants to go apple picking. Let's go. We'll go visit Jeff Baker. We'll go pick some apples. Honeycrisp, Lori says, are excellent. I've had apples from my CSA in the last 2 weeks. That's great.
Oh, one of my neighbors, did I tell you, got me donut peaches?
I love those.
Yeah, she just gave me some the other day. She's like, they're a little hard, though. If you like them softer, leave them out on your counter. So on my counter.
Lori goes to Becker Farms. And Jeff, maybe what you can do is drop in the comments here where we can find you, because that would be super cool. Michaela says, I can't remember when I went apple picking, but I do it early to get the good eating apples.
I could go for an apple pie. I'm usually not, I'm a pumpkin pie person. I love a pumpkin pie, but I could go for an apple pie.
Are you a Macintosh girl?
I like a Macintosh.
I don't.
I have always liked them growing up. They're a little softer.
Yeah, they're gross to me.
Let me tell you, I found a new favorite, though.
What?
Macoun.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I like those. They're harder.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind the Macintosh, though. I think I like the flavor of the Macintosh, but I like the crisp of the Macouns a lot better.
I love a Honeycrisp. I've been really into the sweet tangos.
What's the Honeycrisp? What color is it?
It's green and red,
yeah,
like a mixture.
Yeah, I don't think those are my favorites.
What's
the best one for a pie?
Okay, so Granny Smith is what Lori says.
Granny Smith. Oh, okay.
Those are tart, aren't they?
Are they green?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Galas are the best, Catherine says. Did Jeff fall off the face of the earth here, or where is he? Your mom loves a Cortland. My mom loves Jonagold. Jonagolds are really good.
Are they yellow?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Kathy says Honeycrisp. Oh, finally, Jeff. Okay, here we go.
Did Jeff fall off the face of the earth?
Jeff says.
Jeff, Ed is he needs instant gratification.
Russ says you've got to be patient.
You have none of it.
And that's what I said. I've got no patience. Jeff says Paula Reds are early. Macintosh, Sansa, and early Galas are sweet. Honeycrisp are just delicious. They are really good. No, okay, so I have a question, Jeff. So
Jeff says Jeff can't type that fast. Is what he wrote. Oh God, now he's referring to himself in the third person.
So the Honeycrisp are just in the store.
Yes, it said you were not picking those. You can get them in the store.
So are they from this season or are they from last season?
Oh, I'm sure they're from this season, I would have to say, right, Jeff? You're not hanging on to those for a year.
Look at what Lauren says. A lot of people do, though. A lot of those orchards, they'll put them in not the freezer, but the I don't know what it is.
Cellar?
Yeah, we're with some nitrous, blah, blah,
Oh my
blah.
God, that makes me think of Little House on the Prairie where they put their stuff in the cellar and go get it. Did you ever read those books?
No.
Of course you didn't.
Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Oh my God, I was her for dress up day, dressed like your favorite author in third grade. I was Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Oh my gosh, I could
you
dress
see
up
that?
as James Patterson.
I wore a long dress and I had a little bonnet.
Oh, cute.
I know, just like your favorite author.
Some things never change.
Probably be super comfortable. So shut up.
Sean just says we freeze the apples. They're good for applesauce. You know who makes really good Russell makes really good applesauce.
My mom has made applesauce before and it was really good. I remember really liking that.
Yes, stored in cold storage. Rico, we're gonna block you. Lynn says I love apple cider and all apples.
I love apple cider.
I know. It's really good.
So good. I try not to drink too much of it.
Yes, okay.
Controlled atmosphere, no oxygen in the room.
Okay.
But are they from last year, Jeff, or from this year? I'm going to guess if he's putting them out, they're from this year. But I bet there's sometimes you can't go pick them because there's so few.
Right.
They don't want some to get destroyed.
I get that. You need to maintain the integrity of the
He was
harvest.
telling me it's some pumpkin issues this year too.
Jeff, drop your address here. Where can we find Baker Farms? Let us know so that we can all come and visit. I think that would be super fun.
Okay. What
sibling rivalry?
Yeah. So this was a good one. I saw this last night, and it's a little bit of an older study, but I saw it highlighted on Instagram, and I started laughing because I thought of me and Ed. So, and not us specifically, us with our siblings. Do you have siblings? How often do you argue/bicker with them? Study from the University of Cambridge, Center for Family Research. Fighting with your sibling can increase your social skills and development. Research found arguments can enhance your social skills and your vocabulary. Particularly, it benefits the second-born child.
Yeah, Dana is cutting. She will chop you up and dice you like an onion with her words.
I'm familiar with the second-born child doing something along those lines.
Oh, David does the same thing?
Brutal. He's a man of few words, but when he speaks, you're like, what?
Where did that come from?
Jeez. It found the second sibling often performs better in tests and are more socially adept. I see the first point. My brother and I are very different, but I think he's also just a very shy person kind of by nature. But then, man, when he like is around, when he's with his group,
He's there.
He can certainly dish it out.
Your brother is so funny.
I know.
He is.
If you'd only put those skills to good use. That's what I used to tell my mom. He's so smart and he's so
smart.
Funny. He's so ridiculous.
He's so funny. And he's just witty. He's got that like really dry humor.
So did you and Dana fight growing up? Did you argue and bicker?
Yes. And so then here's what happened. Like I'm the older of the two.
The elder.
Right. And not by much, but I would always be in charge until my mom said, watch out, she's going to come for you. She's going to be bigger than you one day. And lo and behold, it happened. So then she became the boss.
Similar story. David and I used to fight, and it seemed like a great idea until he got a lot bigger than me. And then I was like, better just fight with words from now on because I am going to get my you-know-what kicked.
Okay, so this is the point that you were trying to explain, though. And look at what Shonda's saying. 8 years apart from my brother, I used to fight like cats and dogs.
That's funny to hear. So, Shonda, I was just guessing. Ed and I were talking about this today, and we're both only 2 years apart from our siblings.
About 3, yeah.
And so, yeah, my thought was Dave and I are 2.5. He's 3. I'm like, I wonder if you're more likely to bicker if you're closer in age, because I could see that. But that's funny that you say you're 8 years apart. And I only say that because I knew some people who like had significantly younger or significantly older siblings, and I feel like those siblings didn't fight as much as the ones that were closer together.
Interesting.
Like Chrissy had that's my best friend growing up. She had siblings that were 4 years older, and then her other older sister was 8 years older. And she was just kind of like doing her own thing by the time Chrissy and I were hanging around to bother her. So like they didn't really fight very much. But the other, like being closer in age, yeah, there'd be like who's on the phone, who's doing whatever, you know? And I think about that because I only had the one, you know?
Howard says I'm a middle two, so there's real middle child syndrome. Totally get that.
Right, and this doesn't touch on the middle child. My husband's one. They're a unique breed.
So Lauren is saying that Vincenzo and Rosalie are rolling on the ground. It's already starting. Rosalie's about a year. Vincenzo's 3.
And my one girlfriend's got 3 kids, and she says sometimes, like, if there's 3, 2 end up, you know what I mean? Yep. Like, all of a sudden, like, it's 2 on 1. And she's like, it's a real question mark, though, as to which 2 it's going to be. Because, you know what I mean? They'll switch it up. They like to keep you guessing.
Your mom says her sister's 13 years older, like another mother.
Carol, yes. And
so
she was.
It's so, well,
Sweet Aunt Carol.
Never mind. I was going to spill some dirty laundry, but I don't really.
Of your family?
Yeah. I like what Kelsey had to say.
Your mom's like, oh my God, thank God.
It wasn't even her side, so it doesn't even
Your
matter.
dad's like, oh my God.
Kelsey says, second sibling here. My parents stopped when they reached perfection. I love that. Kelsey, we love that you're here.
Okay, Kelsey. That's so funny.
And then Jeff Baker going back to why they don't pick Honeycrisp is because people knock too many apples on the ground and they are my most profitable apple.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You got to maintain the integrity of that crop.
I've also seen these guys go apple picking, Jeff, at your farm. So Jeff was chiming in too. We also had, who else was it? Was the other, Becker Farms.
Oh, yes.
They were chiming in. They have a wine there.
They sure do. They sure do. You can visit them on the wine tour too. And they were saying it's free admission this weekend. That's pretty cool.
Kelsey says Nora and Archer 2 years apart to the week, nonstop bickering, fighting, punching. But they also have someone their size to play with, so it worked out well.
Michael says 7 of us fight from birth to the grave, but you never stop loving your siblings. That's true. Hi, Aaron. Did you bring us coffee?
No, I had a Diet Coke this morning.
No.
No. They were here yesterday.
Check Minkowski's bag. He might have pilfered them.
Yeah, they're in Minkowski's bag. He's looking for the little people that we showed you guys yesterday. They were here yesterday. I wonder where they ended up. Could they be down here?
Maybe.
In one of these drawers? No, that's paper. Oh.
We forgot our
Second
mugs.
cup, sponsored by the Nickel Plate.
Have a great day, everyone.